Hey real estate agents, welcome to Making a Smarter Agent, your program to find out all the tips and trends as told by the great ones in real estate. What's a great one? Someone that's able to make money and still keep their head on straight. Let's face it, this is a tough business. We interview tough people who seem to make it look easy. We've got a great guest today, as we always do. Remember, Rain Nation and Making a Smarter Agent, all the stuff that I'm putting out there is by design meant to help people build a stronger and better real estate business. And that's really what this is all about. So what we're going to be talking about now is we're going to be going into detail about an agent. She is big in both Connecticut and South Florida. She's someone that I've worked with before, who I know and like on a personal level very, very much. Evangela Brock, how are you?
I'm good, Edmund. How are you?
Any better? How did you like that intro?
It was lovely. I appreciate it.
Okay, good. You know, I want to make sure that we've got the intros right and we have all of that going on. So Evangela, why don't we take the 10,000 foot view here and talk about who you are and what you have done. What company are you with and how long you've been in real estate, that kind of fun stuff.
I have been a real estate agent for 22 years. I can't believe it. Actually, in November, it'll be 23 years. And I started when I was 10 years old, in case anyone is curious.
Of course. I was going to say 9, but okay.
No, 10. I am with Douglas Elliman. I love the brand. I have worked for other companies, and I am truly a big fan of Douglas Elliman, the brand, of Howard, of all the management, all across the board. I think it's a wonderful company.
Sure. And you're licensed in both Connecticut and Florida.
And New York.
And New York. Oh, the trifecta there.
There you go.
So that's pretty good. You know, we're going to get into the ins and outs of business a little bit, but you know, you went back to Connecticut. What are the differences between the markets from your perspective? Remember, the audience here is mostly made up of real estate agents looking to try and build their business. What did you see between the territories? Anything different?
I mean, how transactions are done is completely different, Florida versus Connecticut. You know, in Florida, obviously the agents write their own contract. So there's a lot more responsibility. I think it's better in some ways because you write your own contract and you have almost more control, because once you give a contract to an attorney, you know, in Connecticut, in Greenwich in particular, and Greenwich is the state of Greenwich. So in Greenwich, you do an accepted offer and then it goes to an attorney, then the attorney draws up the contract. When that happens, anything can change. Any of the terms can change. So at least in Florida, once you have a fully executed contract, you have a fully executed contract. It's pretty much done. So that's a huge difference.
It's a huge difference. Do you prefer the Florida system? I mean, again, I don't want you to pick sides, but from an agent standpoint, is it easier or harder in Florida?
I actually, in the beginning, when I moved to Florida, I was really kind of overwhelmed by the idea of having to write the contract. But then once you get used to it, it's a standard contract, you know, the FAR bar, it's the same throughout the state. I think it makes our lives a little easier. It's cleaner. It makes a cleaner transaction, I think.
Sure. Okay, I tend to agree, but again, I always like to get different perspectives. Let's look back, take an historical look at Evangela. When did you get started in the business and what did you come from? What made you say, God, I really want to sell real estate? Whoa, yeah. And what made you that crazy?
Yeah, you know, how many people actually, I mean, not, you know, I think most people who start real estate have had prior careers prior to real estate.
I think the good ones.
I did. Pardon me?
I think the good ones.
Yeah, I mean, I actually was, and I never admit to this, so there you go. And I'm admitting to it live and taped. I was an actress in my past life. So, and then I had children, and then I realized that I needed to, pivot, which is the word of 2020.
It sure is.
And so I decided to do real estate. I was living in my hometown of Greenwich, where I had my children, and I went into real estate when they were almost 3.
Okay.
So for many years now, and so I've loved it. I mean, it's the town that I grew up in. It was challenging having babies, and doing real estate. There's actually a very funny story, which I always share.
Okay.
So when my children were about 2 years old, 2.5, I had to take them to a showing. So I said to my children, if you guys behave during the showing and this person buys the property, I will get you guys new bikes. Ooh. So at the end of the showing, what? Edmund?
No, it's exciting. Okay. If I was a kid, I'd be like, I'd try and push the sale.
Yeah, exactly. So at the end of the showing, my daughter looks up at the guy and says, so are you going to buy the house? And I was like, you can't be a pushy broker. But I'll never forget it. It was quite charming anyway.
Did he buy the house?
He didn't buy that one. He did buy one, and then I did get them bikes. Yes, I did.
So so you made the sale. The kids got the bikes. The guy got a great house. Clearly appreciated and values this. Where is the downside? This is incredible. That's a great story.
No, it is. It was very cute. It's when and I know I'm not the only person who has younger children that has had to show property with their children. So it's a
challenge. I've got a colleague of mine. I don't know if she wants me to out her, but she has a beautiful daughter. I mean, the daughter is just an angel, and I adore this kid, one of the most spectacular children. And she's a single mom, and the kid wasn't with the dad, and the kid came along with us. And I said, okay, you're doing this wrong. You got to teach your daughter to look at the seller when we're on a listing appointment. We actually took the kid to a listing appointment. I mean, this was pretty incredible.
Wow.
I wasn't expecting it. So the kid has to look at the guy with big eyes and go, can you give my mommy your listing so I can eat? And I figured if we could actually get that kid doing that, I said, that's it. This kid's got to earn her keep. Let's put her to work. Damn it.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
That's good. Okay. So the kids got the bike. You got the cute story with all of that. You were in Florida. You've got licenses in a few different places. Let me ask you, what do you consider yourself more of, a listing agent or a selling agent? That's how we refer to them here in Florida, as you know.
Right. Well, I actually consider myself, if you want to know the truth, more of an advisor, because I think when we're either listing or helping someone buy, our job is advising them. So okay. I consider myself more of an advisor. I've done probably 50-50 in my career as far as listings and buyers. And I like working with buyers. You bond with them when you work with buyers. And I like working with listings. So they're both plus in my mind.
Sure. Where does, and again, keeping in mind who the audience is here, right. What are the things that you do to gain traction, to get the phone to ring, to get business? What's going to put wind in your sail in a good or a bad market? You choose.
Right. Well, okay. So first of all, you know that I was in Florida, and I've just recently come back up to Connecticut. So I was in Connecticut for 19 years selling real estate in Greenwich, Fairfield County. And then I've just moved up 3 months ago. So I'm old but new. So I am doing a lot of things that a lot of the newer agents do, which is I'm calling expireds. I'm doing for sale by owners. I wrote down all my contacts. I've called every single person I know. I think the key to success, no matter if you've been in the business 3 years or 30 years, is commitment and consistency. Whatever it is you choose to do, it's commitment and consistency.
Sure. Okay. No, I agree with that. And what are some of the things you're going to commit to? Do you do mailings? Do you do emailing, social media? Like what are some of the, again, I don't want to put you too much on the spot, but I think I'm kind of curious.
I'm not doing any mailings right now. I have in the past. And I think the thing with mailings, and I wasn't, is that you have to be consistent. You can't do them 3-4 times and then let it go. You won't, you have to do it maybe a year, before you actually see anything. I mean, on a monthly basis or every 6 weeks or something like that. And then a year later, then you start to see the benefit of doing the mailings.
Yeah, I agree.
Right. Yeah. Right. Do
Yeah.
you do mail?
I just ordered a $2,500 mailing, and
Wow.
I figured that if it happens at least monthly, it'll likely be more. I'm looking at a $35,000 to $40,000 annualized commitment to it. So yeah, I'd say that that's a pretty big bite. Of course, I am a farmer. Behind me is St. Andrews Country Club. It's not really behind me; it's a green screen. But the point is that is an image of St. Andrews Country Club, and that's one of the areas that I farm. And
Right.
so to get the big 24 by 12 poster type of stuff saying, "Look at me," that's my campaign. But again, I'm here to find out about your campaigns.
Right. So I do a lot of social media. I try to do a lot of social media. I boost on Facebook, Instagram, at least once a month. I try to post, sometimes I'm much better at posting than others, but I try to do it at least 2-3 times a week, try to be consistent. I do random little, those 24-hour stories, which I think are good in town, or if I'm at the beach or a restaurant or something, what else? I have been calling all of my people that I know, all my past clients. I definitely do the emails, every month to my sphere. I think that's important.
Mm-hmm.
Although I have to say right now, I kind of agree with what you're doing, which is farming with snail mail, because I think because of COVID, a lot of people have been inundated by emails, but they're not getting as much snail mail. And so I think what you're doing is wise.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I'm certainly hoping so, but time will tell. Again, the mailing is relatively new to me. The snail mail is relatively new because I do a lot of tech type of stuff. But getting back into this before COVID, let me throw out some things. You could say yes or no. Social events, was that good or bad?
Good.
Okay. And you did it quite a bit?
I did a lot of, and try to do some networking, BNI kind of things. Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. So you want the tip that's going to be of all tips that is going to get you business immediately with BNI?
Go ahead.
Okay. It's all online right now.
Yeah. Huh? Yeah. I know what you're going to say.
So join a New York City group where people are moving to Connecticut. Right. And I throw that out to all the agents that are watching right now, by the way, that today the world truly is flat. Nobody's meeting together. All these BNI and all these networking groups. If networking is a part of your plan, then please consider joining a group outside of your territory where people by default know they're coming here or coming to where you have. Anyway, that's one thing. Okay, so events, BNI.
So houses were always good in Florida. They're not quite the same up here. And, the Northeast has been a little bit more closed as far as COVID is concerned. But I would say in general, I think the Florida area is very good to do public open houses. And so I used to do a lot of public open houses, and I would definitely get clients. I've had listings and buyers and all that kind of good stuff from it.
When are you allowed to have open houses in Connecticut now?
Yeah, we are, but it's just a different, it's a whole different vibe up here. So it never was really great for public open houses as far as getting potential clients and buyers and all that. I think Florida is definitely a much better place in general to do a public open house.
Okay. What about agents outside of your region? Obviously, you're a member of my weekly think tank, Rain Nation. I was mentioning it before, and we have about 130 agents from 12 different states. Right. My theory is that if I could give you some great content, you'll think of me when people want to move to my area and blah, blah, blah. Have agents been a good lead source for you?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I was sending emails and getting to know certain agents. And I've definitely, at least when I was in Florida, I definitely had a good percentage of my business was referral, agent to agent, direct agent and agent to agent referrals. And I'm working that now on the reverse, now trying to get the New York City agents to refer to me here in Connecticut.
Sure. I never understood why agents make enemies out of other agents. I see it over and over again that people just have this real cavalier kind of hostile attitude towards other agents. And our friend Tinka Ellington, she more than half her business comes right from within the office. I mean, it's remarkable how much opportunity there is. So
I agree with that. I think that's huge, knowing other agents and then referring you. And I'm very happy, as I'm sure you are, a piece of the pie is better than 100% of no pie. And so, and that it's a great referral, it's building relationships. Our job is relationship based, whether it's agent to agent or with the client or with our friends. It's our job is based on relationships.
Sure. Well, okay. Then that brings me into the next question. Do you have a team, or do you work on with a team?
I don't. At this point, I am solo. Okay. There is I actually have a property coming on in Westchester that I am working with someone because it just makes sense to partner up for this property. But other than that, I'm a single agent.
Okay.
Yeah. Looking at me, myself, and I.
No assistant, no personal assistant at all?
You're looking at my assistant.
Okay, I'm looking at your assistant. So this is good. I'll have to see if your assistant can get an appointment with you sometime.
There you go.
But okay, so you got these different territories. You got this long, rich history in Connecticut, which is great. If you had to give an agent a piece of advice as to, they're really struggling to try and get their business going, what would you tell them to do? I mean, they've got 6 months to actually make a living before they have to get off their mom's sofa type of thing. Like, what advice would you give them?
Right. It's kind of what I said before. I would tell them to make the commitment to doing whatever it is, whether it's an hour a day of making phone calls, whether it's door knocking, whatever it is, make the commitment to do it. Have the courage to go and do it. Because look, is it easy to call an expired or for sale by owner or even someone and then, you don't really want to ask them, to hire you, or do you, it's a difficult question to ask. So having the courage to do so, and then just continuing to do it day by day by day. It's the small wins. I do believe it's small wins, and it gets momentum, and then you find yourself, taking off. And then, one piece of business gives you another. For example, last year I did an open house. That open house brought me a listing. That listing, he also bought. So he bought and sold with me. In that listing, I also happened to have the buyer. Well, that buyer bought and sold with me. And then because of the listing on the internet, I got another buyer. So what is that? 5-6 pieces of business because of one thing. So
but hold on, you're wrong though, because the story's not over yet, right? The story's not over yet because you could get more.
I could get more. It was in Florida though, but I could get more. They would definitely refer me.
Go pick me. I'm here. Okay. Okay. So what else? I mean, you're not mailing, and you're doing some social media. Are you knocking on doors now? Like, what's?
No, you can't knock on doors up here. You can't knock on doors. But I'm calling for sale by owner. I'm calling expireds. I've been contacting past clients that I know. Sphere based.
What's better when it comes to cold calling, for sale by owners or expireds? And again, there's no right or wrong answer. I'm just very curious about your opinion on this one.
Well, I think expireds, that they have already gone the realtor route. So in some ways it's easier. For sale by owner, for some reason they have stigma about working with an agent. So that's why they're trying to do it on their own. So sometimes, but I don't think, I just think it depends on, knowing what to say when you're on a conversation. I mean, I also think that's key, is knowing the right words to say, asking the right questions. Any opportunity you have, just making sure that you are in control, but that means asking the right questions.
Sure. So all really, really good, important stuff. I'm curious to see where do you get your data from? How do you know who to call?
Um, well, you can't do it in Florida because you can't get the expires as easily. In Connecticut, I can get the expires. So I went back a year, and then I got all the expired listings. And then it takes a little bit of homework because then I got to check to see if they were relisted, if they've sold, and then I've got to find their phone numbers, and then make a call, and then I also send a piece of mail to them too. Kind of do a few things.
Oh, that's good.
The for sale by owner, I've just been, and it's pretty easy. I've been going on Zillow, and you can find out who's a for sale by owner. And then when it says the agent information, you can easily get their phone number and give them a call.
Sure. Well, that's well, by the way, in Florida, the expired's the best way to get it is through a service called RedX. I don't know if you have RedX in Connecticut.
Yeah. Yeah. We don't really need.
I'm starting to do some more cold calling now. Again, I'm overwhelmed with buyers and I'd like to get more sellers. And one of the things that I started doing, which again, here's your next secret. It's on Facebook. So let's not tell anyone. I'm just kidding. But here's the secret. Try making a cold call with another person. Just think about it. This is Evangela Brock and Edmund Bogen. How are you? And we both say hi at the same time when we're calling the person. Nobody gets cold called by two people at the same time. Just think about it whenever you reach for the phone. So that's just another little trick. I did that successfully with Tinka to get a couple of listings.
Really?
And I'm working now with a couple of other people in the office because I just think that people just, it's like, oh my, wow, they must really know me. You're getting past that precious second to get people to really listen and not slam the phone down. Anyway, just a thought.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think the more you do it too, the more, again, it's continuing, it's commitment, it's courage, and then just continuing to do so. And you'll get the results. It definitely, takes time. And sometimes you get luckier than others, and sometimes you go in the meeting and it doesn't pan out. But, the more you do it, the better you are at it, and the more likely you'll get the next listing or the next opportunity.
Sure. Good. No, all good stuff. Do you have a coach?
I don't. I don't actually have a coach that I work with. I've been thinking about it because, and I'm kind of restarting here, but I've been listening to a lot of Tom Ferry. I will admit to that. A lot of Tom Ferry. Sure.
Okay. Well, good. What?
Do you have a coach?
I had a coach. I was very disappointed with the guy. I have people that I've partnered with to, where I do the 5 a.m. club, get up and I live kind of a very regimented life with regard to that. And actually I'm starting to, I guess, for lack of a better word, coach some people that, we have in common. And so if you want to talk about that at some point, I think Rain Nation certainly has been a big boost from my standpoint to be able to get leads and advice from people whenever I have a problem. I've got all these people that I could call. So that's pretty helpful.
Right.
Helpful. But tell me about that. I mean, again, not to get such a huge gratuitous plug in here, but that's good. Here's the gratuitous plug. Tell me about Rain Nation. What's been going on with that? Any thoughts about the value of that meeting?
Great. I think that, any networking thing that you do and look, I've been doing this 22 years and I believe in whether it's real estate or anything else, the more I know I don't know. And so with that said, there's always more to learn in real estate. I certainly don't have all the answers and I hope that I never do. And every transaction, every deal you do is different. And like your strength is all that technology. It may not be my strength. So going to Rain Nation, I hear about things that I may not have known, and that benefits me. Sure. And I might, have a piece of advice or a piece of knowledge that someone else doesn't know, and that benefits them. I believe in life, there's enough for everyone. There's enough business for everyone, and we're not in competition with each other. We're all there to help each other.
Sure. Okay. Very, very good. Well, look, Evangela, this has been a blast. Was that so bad?
Not so bad.
Not so bad, right? So that was not so bad. If for those that are watching, if you are in real estate and you are curious about Rain Nation, you can give me a buzz. Rain Nation, it's the Real Estate Information Group Network. We've 130 strong in 12 different states, plus the Caribbean. And it's a great place to actually grow the business. At this point, there is no charge for Rain Nation. So you really have absolutely nothing to lose. And I'm really looking forward to building more and more relationships. And I hope that you do too. Evangela, you're terrific. Thank you so much. I hope we could do this again sometime.
Thank you so much, Edmund, for having me. I appreciate it.
It's a pleasure. Thank you. Making a Smarter Agent would like to thank its two sponsors. The first is Organized New York Palm Beach, which you could see on Instagram at the handle Organized Palm Beach. Let's face it, organization stinks. It's tough. Organized New York Palm Beach is the premier organizing company that operates between New York and Palm Beach County, Florida. Go check them out on Instagram at Organized Palm Beach. Also, Rain Nation. That's the Real Estate Information Group Network. Think of it as group therapy for realtors. And you know what? We need it. It's part think tank. It's part coaching. It's all opportunity. Rain Nation, that's REIGNATION. You can find it on Facebook.